Well, hopefully he'll run a good race. He jumps very well at home, and I think he's quite fit, and you know, we're just hoping for the best. You know, we're sticking him in the deep end a bit, but you know, I think he's quite good.
Wow.
Well, a fascinating story, and incidentally Richard trains near Marlborough, so if you're in the Marlborough area, I know of one very sporting American visitor, Mrs. Kooky Toffend, who's in that area. If she can find a racehorse, well, who knows, be quite a good present, Christmas present.
I should think there's some
There's the favourite.
I think there's some little child going to have to give his Christmas present back, which I think sometime in the near future.
John, an old friend of yours, Garcid, hot favourite here.
Yes, I don't know whether he's hot favourite. He's certainly got a really good chance. He's got excellent chances on the form, certainly. And he looked a little bit miserable walking around beforehand. It is a wet and cold and windy. Normally he looks an awful lot better than he does this afternoon. But as I was saying, his form is excellent. He was lucky in as much as he didn't win last year, but he ran some good races, and he was impressive when he won at Ascot.
And they're lining up with a classic statement in the foreground in those diamonds. Used to be trained by Vincent O'Brien and injured his tendon very badly last year, but Jenny Pittman has him back in form now. Bell Glass is also fancied. Well, as they line up, over to you, Graham.
And they race away. A very bleak afternoon it is, I'm afraid, but it's Young Pokey who takes the early lead next to the rails in the blue and white colours. Racing up prominently is New York Rainbow in black and white quarters, whilst wide in the pink Sylvan Tempest is just ahead of the main group of runners. Classic Statement in behind them, and Garsick gets a view of the front, and they're at the first now. And there are no fallers at the first. Coming down towards the second, it is New York Rainbow, who just has the lead now from Garcid, with Young Pokey on the inside. Racing wide, Sylvan Tempest shows 4, and then taking a keen hold, Sailor's Luck in the yellow colours, green cap place 5, but no more than a neck off the leading group, and there were no fallers at the second, and they race up past the stands. And it's New York Rainbow on the inside, being shaded now by Sailor's Luck, with Sylvan Tempest racing wide, Garcid and Young Pokey, and then La Ciénaga. Behind these comes Granville Waterford, and behind Granville Waterford is in the zone. And there's still little change as they race away down towards the next flight of hurdles. The back marker and struggling and really tailed off in the murk is Torius, and they race down towards the next flight of hurdles, and as they come into it, it was New York Rainbow who just had the lead, but up on the very wide outside, Sailor's Luck, that's in a firing position. Sylvan Tempest is bang there too, and also coming forward through there, La Ciénaga in the striped jacket. And that one Albert comes to take the lead as they begin to swing right-handed and make a way towards the fifth flight of hurdles. And as they do so, it's La Ciénaga who's the leader. La Ciénaga on the inside of Sailor's Luck showing second. And then Garcid in third, New York Rainbow in 4. And these are followed by Sylvan Tempest, and then in the zone, and Classic Statement not that far away, but the colours very difficult to distinguish indeed as they race down the far side of the track into heavy beating rain and gloom and murk. Very un-Christmassy, very unpleasant scene as they take the fifth, at which La Ciénaga led from on the outside. That's Sailor's Luck coming through in the light blue colours, red cap, easy to spot colours of Eric Parker. That's Garcid, the favourite, and then just in behind these is New York Rainbow, with coming through on the inside Granville Waterford. Young Poke is in about 6th or 7th place as they make their way towards the next, and as they do so, it's La Ciénaga the leader. La Ciénaga the leader from in second place. In second place on the outside, Sailor's Luck, and then Garcid, and then Gran Alba with New York Rainbow behind them, and behind New York Rainbow trying to get a forward move is Bell Glass, but they've jumped 3 out and they make their way round the home turn, and as they do so, it's La Ciénaga the leader, from Sailor's Luck in second, then Garcid third, and Gran Alba 4, and then behind these comes New York Rainbow in 5th, Granville Waterford 6th, and 7 is Bell Glass, followed then at a distance by Classic Statement, and Marrakim is making a bit of ground, and Switch is trying to improve too, and Green Wine gets reminders, but La Ciénaga in the stripes has it. La Ciénaga the leader as they come down towards the second last, but Garcid on the inside really pulling double as he comes comes to take it, and Garcid takes the initiative there, and La Cienaga's the faller. The horse is quickly on his feet, and this is given to Garcid. New York Rainbow in second place. It's a race for the places, really, as they come down towards the last, and Garcid comes to take it. He skips over it safely. Rob in second place, New York Rainbow, and then there's one staying on from the back, which is Switch. But as they race up towards the line, it's Garcid who's going to win this. At the line, Garcid is the winner by about 8 to 10 to New York Rainbow, and Switch, who stayed on very nicely indeed, second and third. A gap to Granville Waterford 4, and then Green Wine and Gran Alba, followed in by Sailor's Luck, who dropped away. These are followed by Society Guest, and behind Society Guest a big gap to Sylvan Tempest Barrakim, and then behind these Classic Statement. Behind Classic Statement was In the Zone. One of the last to finish was Bell Glass, and last of all was Fighton's Glory. The result then of this Haven Novices Hurdle, the jolly favourite as obliged, number 1 Garcid, in the colours of Mr. Eric Parder, trained by Reg Akehurst, ridden by Cool Hand Luke, so he's going well, the 28th winner of the season for him. One of the pullers-uppers was Rare Topaz, and another one that pulled up was Frisco City. Second horse home was number 14 New York Rainbow, third number 20 Switch, fourth horse home number 10 Granville Waterford.
Well, quite a long way from home. Luke Harvey has had both hands full on the favourite Garcid, and now as he comes up to the very promising New York Rainbow, who was having his first run over hurdles, or goes away from him rather, well, a fall is really the only danger for Luke, and far from falling, Garcid skips over in real style. He's jumped very well throughout, John.
Jumped really well, and he's come home with an impressive winner, because this was quite a good race. We're going to have another look now from Turning for Home with La Cienega. Looks to be running away here with Jimmy Frost, but look at Garcid coming up on the inside. That's Richard Holder's runner just coming up there. Sailor's Luck on this side in the yellow colours. Look back to Switch, who's run a really good race. He's come from a long way behind. And the thing about it is, although the ground looked quite good beforehand, they've finished strung out an awful long way. But just look at Garcid on the inside under Luke Harvey, ears pricked. He's absolutely running away there. And you just saw La Cienega make a mistake. Unfortunately, he fell. And that's left Garcid to go down to the last. All they've got to do is get over it. Luke Harvey's kept a good hold of his head, and he's given it a few inches to spare there. Didn't even touch the hurdle, and that was a very promising first run by the second horse home there, New York Rainbow. I think Michael Buckley would be delighted with that, but really there was only one horse in this from when we picked up that film Turning for Home, and that was Garcid.
A smashing result on and off course for the punters. Garcid returned, the 7-2 favourite. Come racing, you would have got 9-2, and of course beaten in this race last year ahead by Tin Ryland when a 13-2 chance. Garcid returned at 7-2. New York Rainbow the second is returned at 8-1, and Nigel Dempster's Switch is a double carpet 33-1 chance. That'll get a mention in the Daily Mail diary, that's for certain. But Garcid, the sixth favourite in 12 runnings of this race to win it, Cruising Altitude 2 years ago, the Hacienderos in 84, and Desert Orchid won this as favourite in 1983, and before that $50 more, and the Queen Mother's Rhyme Royal. A tremendous result for the punters on Boxing Day. Garcid 7-2. Bookmakers will be paying out for some time over that.